All right, so good morning once again. So just to go through what we have done so far, or where we stopped in our last class, we have been able to put these dashboards together. And then I think our last topic was creating linking buttons, right? I think that was the topic in our last class, where we were taught how to create a navigation button from or within your Power BI dashboards. So let's quickly look at the few things remaining. So we'll be looking at Power BI Gauge, we'll be looking at Power BI Map, we'll also be looking at Power BI Decomposition, how we can use all these models to perform analysis in our dashboard. So let me start with the Power BI decomposition tree. Let me start with the Power BI decomposition tree. And my analysis will be outputted in dashboard 2. Power BI decomposition. Okay, let me output it in because I already have some card here. So let me see how I can reposition this card in order for me to have a good design. Trying to position them at the center since they are just 3 cards. All right, so let's start with the definition. What is Power BI decomposition tree? Power BI decomposition tree. Coming. Right, the decomposition tree is a powerful model, or let's say it's a powerful data analysis model in Power BI, which is used to break down complex data into smaller, more manageable parts. Let me come again. Power BI decomposition tree is a powerful model which is used to break down complex data into smaller and more manageable parts. Let us quickly look at some of the key features that makes up this model as the reason why it is being considered whenever you want to perform a breakdown analysis. Under the key feature number 1, allow user to drill down into specific categories. It allows user to drill down into specific category or dimensions. It allows user to drill down into specific categories or dimensions. Are you with me? So that is one of the key features, because the feature here, they are more or less of the attribute, right? The characteristics. Let's look at the second feature of Power BI decomposition tree. It provides a hierarchical view. It provides a hierarchical view of data. It provides a hierarchical view of data. Are you with me? comma, enabling users to identify trends. Underline that. Enabling users to identify trends and patterns. So these are key analysis terms we are all familiar with. So when we say trend, we are talking about the most performing what? Variable in your data. When we say pattern, we are looking at the differences, right? The shape of the progression or the shape of what? The regression. That is what makes up what we mean by what? Patterns. So let's look at the last keyword that I have here, support AI-powered insights and suggestion. It supports AI-powered insights and suggestions. I said it supports AI what? Powered insights and suggestions. So let's quickly highlight some of the purpose. Let's quickly look at some of the what? The purpose. Okay, I think we have already established that. Let's just quickly let's dive into the application. Now, in summary, are you with me? In summary, what we are saying is that as a data analyst are using Power BI, why should I consider Power BI what? Decomposition tree, which is this model. Now, like we just summarized in that note or in that definition, we mentioned to break down, right? To break down. In other words, and it also gives us a kind of hierarchical what? View. What we mean by hierarchical? That's what you have placed your analysis in what? Hierarchy what? Manner, whereby you have the father and then giving birth to what? The direct what? Children, and then the direct children giving birth to their own children. At the end of the day, you end up having children and grandchildren, right? So that is a way of you classifying the data. Now, if we look at our data here, which of this header we can actually break down with the decomposition? That should be your focus. So you should be able to identify what exactly, which of the variable in your data you want to break down in what? Hierarchical form. That will end up helping you to identify trend and what? Pattern. So now let's look at the task. Write it down. Analysis task. Let us assume that we are asked to perform this kind of analysis and we have planned to use the decomposition tree. Analysis task is from the Amazon data sets. From the Amazon data sets, give us the breakdown analysis of gross of total profit. Give us the breakdown of total profit per country. Give us the breakdown of total profit per what? Per country. Per country. Are you with me? So that is the tax. So you can see the way the question is constructed, which means that we will get the total of what? Total profit. We will analyze the total sum of total profit. Then we will now start breaking them down per what? Country. Then the question can go on by saying further break them down by what? Region. It can go on further break the value down by what? Another variable, or maybe says what? Channels. Are you following now? What I'm trying to highlight here is the keyword we use in defining it, which says what? It is used for breaking down complex what? Data into what? Smaller and more what? Manageable what? Parts. So if your priority is not about breaking it down from the complex to what? To the simplest, then you should consider what? Power BI decomposition. Now, let's quickly look at, now that we have already cited the analysis tasks, right? Let's look at the step-by-step steps, application step now. So how do we answer that analysis question? The question is, we should break down the sum of total profits per country, and then also further break it down per what? Region, and if possible, per what? Sales channel. Are you with me? So your first step is this. Look up. Your first step is to activate the model, which is this. Is to activate the model. So you simply click on it. So once you click on it, you have it here. Now, since I want to break it down from the parent to the child to the grandchild, then I have to start from here so that I'll keep breaking it down this way until it gets here. Are you following? But if I place it here now and I start breaking it down, there's no space. So that is why I have to strategically position it where I can start my breakdown from here. And then by the time it gets to this edge, it must have given me what? The entire analysis. Am I communicating? Okay. So your first step is what? Activate what? The decomposition tree what? Model. And then it has opened up a frame, just like other model, waiting to receive what? The data is going to break down. And from our question, we mentioned what? The sum of what? Total profit, right? So I will make sure that it's selected, okay? Or if I don't want to, now see what we are going to do. The moment you add the frame, I want you to look here. Hope you are seeing this session I'm navigating at. There is a title called what? Analyze. And under it, we have what? Add data field here, right? Then we have explain by. So this is where you are going to put the total profits that will be analyzed. And then this is where you are going to put the country and the region. That is what is going to break down what it must have analyzed here into any field you put here. Are you getting the logic? So your next step is what? Add data field to analyze section. Write your step. Add data field to analyze section. Add data field to what? Analyze section. So this is the section I am referencing, this particular part. So how do I know which of the field out of the 3 different fields that are mentioned in that task? The task says that we should break down the sum of total profits, right? That we should break down the sum of what? Total profits per country, right? So which means that what? The sum of total profit, pay attention. The sum of total profit is what? Total profit header is what will be added here. Then we will now break it down by whatever field we add here. That means what we are explaining the field here. So let me put it here. So I will just take my total what? Profits, which is the main one I am what? Analyzing, and add it here. So immediately you do that, you notice that what? It will give you the total sum of the total profit. Can you see it here now? Now let me format it a little so that we can see it. So we just click on it, then switch to where? Switch to your format section. Let's just enhance the value so that we can see the value. I hope you are seeing it better now. Are you seeing it better now? Okay, so we can format later, but just for you to see what we are doing. So I go back to my visual. So now you can now see what the analyze meant, right? It means that what? The particular variable or feature in your data set that you want to break down is the one you assign here. So which means that, remember, let's go back to our question. The question says that what? We should break down the sum of total profits by what? Country, right? And again, by what? Region, right? So I will drag country and region inside what? This section that says what? Explain by. Are you following? So your next step is supply the criteria field for the breakdown in the explain by section. supply, the criteria fields, are you with me? Supply what? The criteria what? Field in the explained by what? Section. I am communicating. All right. Now, so if I'm communicating, now look up. Now, what we are saying is that we have already analyzed, as it is now, we have answered one analysis question. Hope you know that. Which says what? How much is the total what? Profit what? Generated from all the what? The country. What is the amount? 45 million plus, right? Now, the company wants to know, in this 45 million, break it down per what? Country or per region. So, which means that if I want to go with region first, I will drag region and add it to what? Explained by. So, once I add it, watch out what is going to happen. Initially, this plus was not there. Hope you know that. Let me take it out and go back so that you take note of it. Did you see plus here? Now, if I add the region to my explained by section, you will now see a plus. So if I click on that plus now, it will ask me, okay, how do you want me to grade it? Remember, we talked about breaking it down in what? Hierarchical what? View. Do you want this is talking about sorting now. Is it from the highest or to the least, or from the least or from the lower value? So I'll choose what? Higher value. Now what is going to happen? Higher value. So it's already there, but let's expand this. Let's see. So let me try. Okay, it's analyzing. It's analyzing. So let's hold on to get the output. Good. Can you see it now? So what it has done now is that, remember what we added here. So this is the breakdown per what? Region. This is the breakdown per region. So how many regions we have different? We have Europe, right? We have so we have other regions here, just that the space will not allow us. That is why most time it takes a full dashboard, so that if we place this at the top here, at least we're able to what? Accommodate what? More. So you can click here to what? To view others. Can you see it? So there are other ones there. You can use this to what? To move up as well. Now, the third part says that we should further break it down. Now, which means that what? Out of 45 million, this particular region, which is what? Sub-Sahara Africa, generated what? 30 million, right? Then, remember that it has sorted it based on the higher value that we selected. So which means that this has already defined the trend. So what is the trend? Sub-Sahara generated what? The highest what? Total profit, right? Followed by what? Europe. Followed by what? Asia. If you go down, you get the list. Because I said when you are presenting your analysis finding, you should always capture the highest value and the what? The lowest. And then tell them the differences. The difference between the highest and the lowest is what we refer to as what? The correlation. Am I communicating? Good. Now, we have answered that question. Now, the third part of it is that we should further break this down per what? Per country. Okay, so we are still analyzing with the decomposition tree, which I said is used to break down complex data into smaller and more manageable parts. And at the same time, it gives us hierarchical what? View. Now, what is the hierarchical view? If you look at this now, please let's pay attention. You see that what? This is the father. Let's say this is the grandfather. So this grandfather gave birth to what? To this. Now, this can as well give birth to what? Another set of what? Children. So what we are doing is that the analysis task is that we are to break down the sum of total profit per region, then per country, or maybe per sales channel. So now we have already broken it per what region. Now, and we are asked again, okay, this value. So just to interpret the analysis, we analyze the total profit generated from all the region, which amounted to 45 million plus. Now, we have further given the breakdown per region, so which means that, and they are also automatically sorted. So this has also answered a valid analysis question that could be, after breaking the total profit generated, which of the region has the highest what? Profit. So as we can see here is what? Sub-Sahara Africa, followed by what? Europe, followed by what? Asia. Now, because of the space, we still have other information. We still have more, which I said you can move up and move down here. Now, let's quickly answer the last part of the question. So we want to further break down this, please. I want us to pay good attention. Now, here, what we want to do now is that in this value, we want to know the percentage of online sales and what? Offline sales. For each of them, we can probably project it. So what I'm going to do is to drag that what? Criteria for the further breakdown, which is what? Sales channel. Bring it to where you have your explain by. Remember that we have added region before, right? Make sure that it comes after it. If it comes before, it means that you are now prioritizing the sales. That means you are now breaking sales channel per what? Region. Not region per what? Sales channel. So you need to be mindful of how you are positioning. There's a kind of blue shadow that is showing there that shows that this is coming directly under what? Region. So you can see that it has shrink everything to what? Offline and what? So which means that I still made that mistake. Can you see it? So it's as if I swap it. So now, if sales channel is coming first, it means that you can break the sales channel when you click on this plus here per what? Per region. That is what we are saying. If you explain this per what? Region. So I can come here now and say, okay, so you can see that the last one will not carry that plus, which means that what? You have not added another data to explain it. So if I want to explain this by which other header we can use here, if I want to explain this by country, I want to explain this value generated per what? Country. So I will drag country and bring it what? Here. So you can see that the moment you add it, you now see the plus sign attached to each of them. So if I want to break this one, if I want to get the analysis of this per country, I'll just click here. Then specify the sorting. Should it be sorted from the higher value or what? Lower value. So you click. So it will open it up. So if you expand this, this is what? The breakdown of that per what? Country. Okay. So if I click here now, if I come to this, if I select this, it will break it down on this particular one. So right now, I'm giving the breakdown per what? This country. If I want to give the breakdown per this country, I will just click on what? That country. So it will just what? Be analyzing it. So this is just like a slicer on its own. Are you following? Now, if I want to break it down, so you need to, your question, the way you are answering your question will determine the design. Because you need to be mindful of how the design is going as you are outputting your findings. So if I want to further break it down by item type, I want to make sure that it gets to this place. Look up. I want to make sure that it gets to this place. So the first analysis we did was the sum of total what? Profit generated. The second category of analysis is by breaking the total sum of profit generated per what? Sales channel, of which we have just two categories of what? Sales what? Channels, offline and what? Online. The third category analysis we perform is we further break based on this. You know that what? You are actually giving this breakdown on what? Offline, not on what? Online. So if I click here now, the analysis will now switch from what now?
from offline to what? Online. And the values have changed equally. So now the last one I want to do is that I want to break this down per item type. These are the products now. So I'll drag the same product, add it immediately after what? The last one, which is what? Country. Then you now have what? The plus sign added. So if I click here now, how do I want to rank it from higher value to what? To the lowest. So this is the breakdown of this particular value. For Europe now, this is the breakdown of it per what? Per item type. So if I want to check it on Middle East, I'll just click on it bar to shift your analysis to that one. So that is how you perform each of the analysis. Then remember that at the end of the day, you are going to write your observation. If this is acting as a slicer, it means at the end of the day, you have to be selecting each of these and be noting down your what? Observation. And where recommendation is necessary, you also what? Apply it. So I can continue to break it down like that until I get to the last question I am asking. I believe is understood. And as we can see, it has aligned all the words. These are the criteria. Please pay attention, please. All these headers you are seeing here, this will help you to know how many criteria you have used to analyze the data. So the first criteria was what? You can see it now. This is the first one because it starts from here. This one is the base. So this is where I started breaking it down. This is the first level. This is the second level, the third level, and then what? The last level. In fact, it took it from here. So every category of analysis performed, it what? Apply or create its what? Legend. So just like I explained to us that every model you are working with has its own formatting. So if I want to format this particular model, I have to switch to what? Format. Okay? So from here, remember, is it the tree that you want to format? What are the three? All these are the three. So if you click on this and choose density, that's the default. I can say, okay, space. So check what happened. You can see that what? The arrangement, the adjustments have changed. So if I choose another one, let's say what? We are on the dense, right? So let's choose default. So this is default arrangement. So I'll prefer what? Space. Then after that, I want to go and format. I want to format the analysis. The analysis are the value. The analysis are showing what? Absolute. So I can select what? Relative. You see what happened now? So depend on how you want to communicate your analysis. Then under bars, I can also format the bars. The bars, look at this here. You can see that I've increased the size of the bar. In case you have other questions to answer and you feel that you have used the whole space, so you can compress it so that you can have what? More space to accommodate other questions. Now that is for the bar. Then the stats, you can leave it like this. Let's see if there's any other thing that is useful. Percentage or percent node. Okay, so you can choose any one you want here. Then the color of the bar, you can change the color to maybe another color. You can see it now based on the set of colors you are working with. The background of it, you can change it also. So you can see you are now making it what? More user friendly. The category label, that is what? The write-up. The write-up. In fact, once I change the value there, you will notice what is happening. You can see that those informations are now more visible. You can increase it. You can increase it. You can increase it. Then you can also change the color, but I think I'm good with that color. But if I have to change it just for us to see the impact, I can change it. If this will go better with what? With other color. Then the fonts, values themselves, the values, I can format the word, the value to be more what? Visible. I think I'm okay with this. But let me give them the full black so that the value can be what? More visible. So now you go up and check other things. How do you want the value to be abbreviated? Is it in thousands or in what? In millions? I think those values are what? in millions. So let me put it in what? In auto. Then headers. Headers, I can format them. Can you see that these are the headers? So always know that every visual you are working with has its own what? Formatting features. So subtitle, if there is any subtitle, okay, we have subtitle. Let me also enhance their view a little. Then the color of those subtitles, I just want to have simple color. Remember, I've given us the guideline when you are working on what? Dashboard. I should not use too many color. You can just use what? Just 2 colors. Just make sure that the interface is friendly. Then the background color of the whole of what? That section. As a design, you can change it. Maybe something like this. Just to add design. And then, so I'll go to general so that I can format the entire background of what? The decomposition what? Tree. So from here, I'll go to effect, then choose what? Background color. So let me choose something like this. Hope you understand it. The background that will make the value to what? To be visible. So this is how to apply what? How to use decomposition to perform analysis in Power BI. So I'm going for 10 minutes break for us to update our dashboard. So have some model to look at. Let's add card and see, slicer and see how we can add slicer to this. So if I could just come here and then please, let's focus now. I just want to add a slicer and I want to slice by order of priority. So I will add it to my slicer. So if I click on this, you can see that the slicer also what? Slice it. Hope you understand what just happened. That means what? The data we are seeing right now, they are data that falls under what? Order priority C. So you can add slicer. Remember, I told you before that once you add a slicer to your dashboard, it automatically what? Connects to all the existing reports. Okay, so now let's quickly look at the next model. The next one is Power BI map. Let's write Power BI map. Power BI map. Power BI map. We have 4 of them to end the training on Power BI. Power BI map. So how do we define Power BI map? Power BI map is used to visualize data geographically. It is used to visualize data geographically. It is used to visualize data geographically. It also acts as a slicer. That is, you can use it to slice across your dashboard report based on the selected what? Location. So let's quickly look at the key features so I will know why it is important we use it as data analyst. The key features, number 1, it supports various map types. Number 1, it supports various map types. It supports various map types, such as bubble maps and heat map, such as bubble map and bubble maps and heat. That is HEAT map. The second feature is it allows users to drill down into specific regions. It allows users to drill down into specific region or locations. Yes, into specific region or locations. The next feature of Power BI map is it integrates with other Power BI visualizations.
it integrates with other Power BI visualization. Exactly. Now, so there is a criteria. Note, the data set to use Power BI map must have header like country, states. So you must have geographical words, headers or values. So take for instance, this data set that we are working, which is the Amazon data set, right? We have region, as you can see here, we have region. Under the region, we have Australia, right? We have Europe. So we can as well use our country to also analyze with our map. So you must have data segmented in region, in country, or in different location before you can use it. So I mean we don't have headers like country, we don't have header like region. You cannot use what? Power BI map. Exactly. So there are certain value you must look up to in the data set before you can use it. But before we apply this command, there are some settings that need to be in place. And your computer must be on the internet because it's going to really synchronize all the geographical location in this data. So you must be on the internet. So let's look at what? Setup. Setting up Power BI map. Setting up Power BI map. Note, to use Power BI map to perform analysis or as a slicer, to use Power BI map to perform analysis or as a slicer, the following settings must be in place. The following settings must be in place. The following settings must be in place. Are you with me? So how do we go about that? Step number one, click on File tab. Make sure you are looking at what I'm doing also. So you click on what? File tab. That's your first step. Then you navigate to where you have options and settings. That's your next step. Click on options and settings. Just make sure that you are following. After some time, I will allow us to practice. I say click on what? Options and what? Settings. Then to give you these two options, you select what? Option. You select option, not data source setting. You click on option. So after that, that will prompt us a dialog box consisting other features. So let's wait for the dialog box to come up. Now this is it. So from here, you go to security. That's your next step. Click on security. So once you select security, you will see this particular feature. The one that says what? Map and what? Field map visual. Now, because I have used this to teach other sets, that is why my own is already checked. If you go through your own now, this is how your own is going to be. It's not going to be checked. So which means that what? It is not active. So you just check this one. If you like, you can check this one. You can just make sure that to be on the safer side, make sure you check this ArcGIS for Power BI and what? Map and field map visual option. So just check these two options and then click OK. Okay, so now once you have done that, now we have to create some report. Now I want you to pay attention here. We have to create some report. In other words, remember I said the Power BI map is just like an advanced slicer, right? Yeah. The way we want to use the map. In other words, if I am mapping based on country, if I click on one country, it will analyze all the report I have there based on only that country. So let me create a table report. If possible, you have card report as well. So let me answer the question of summarizing gross profit per region. So let me just add this per profit. Just pay attention, please. Nobody should operate. Now, just to have few reports to illustrate how the map works. So I will just have here. Here I'm summarizing item type per the same or per revenue generated, which is this. Okay, now I don't want to go through formatting because I believe you know how to handle that. Now, this is where I want to have my map. So when you have your map, you may not need slicer, okay? Because you are slicing with what? The locations. So now you click outside, then this is the map. We have field map, we have what? Map, any one of them. So if I click here to add the map frame, so I will increase it for each to be bigger a little. And then remember I said you must be on what? Internet before this can work. Now, what am I using to map this record? I am using what? Country, right? So I will just add country as the data. So just check what is going to happen now. It will synchronize all the country collected here in the map. Just hold on. Good, perfect. So if you are not on the internet, this is actually the real country. Remember that we have Europe, right? We have South America. We have North America. So if I want to navigate here, I want to remember that these two reports, what are they analyzing? This one is counting what? This one is counting region, counting the entry per what? Region. Why this is summing? This is summing revenue per what? Item what? Type. Now, these informations are from all the region. But if I click on Europe now, here, this model will give me the breakdown for only this particular region. So you can zoom it so that you can see the value there. So if you click on one of them, I was waiting for it to reflect. From the data set, let's look at the region. We have Europe, we have North America. I think I saw North America the other time. Just want to target one and see how it will analyze our data. Where do we have it now? I just want to pick one of the country or the region in our data set. We don't have we have Africa. So you can see this is the analysis of what? Africa. And that all the region that falls within Africa. South America. So you can see this is the breakdown of what? South America, Asia. If I click here, this is the breakdown of what? Asia, because these are valid region. Australia, we have it in the data set. So like I said, you can zoom into that particular one if you want to pick other, maybe country or location within that region, if they are valid in your data set. Do you understand it? Okay, so let me give us a few minutes to apply. But before then, hold on. Let us also talk about what? Formatting, which I said is very important. Every model you are using has its own what? Formatting. So from formatting, I have map what? Setting. So I can say, okay, how do I want? Is it the color? You can see it now. Dark. I can say, okay, I want this area, or I want light, depending on how you want to control. The under control, I want auto zoom. That is why it was zooming. I want a zoom button to be added. So this will add a zoom button. You can see that now you have what? Zoom button. So why you need to know all this? Because if you are presenting to an organization live from your Power BI, you are going to need all this to what? Instead of you manually zooming like I was doing before. So you can be clicking on this button to zoom to a particular section. Then let's see other thing. Geocoding culture. you can use any of these. These are like different encoding languages for accessing the graph. The fill color, if you want to change the color to this, you can control it here depending on how it's balancing other things you are. Then going to general, you have title, you have effects. You can actually go through this on your own. You can just choose background color of the entire map, and then you can say you want to transparent it, maybe if it's two. All this will only be considered when you are formatting. The visual border, you want visual border to be there. You don't want it. In fact, every other thing is just for decoration. So let me give us some time for us to engage. All about Power BI map. So you can see how we're able to generate this dynamic map, which can help us to slice across our existing reports within our dashboard. Now let's look at I'm referring to this as the last visual because it plays double role. Power BI KPI. Have we done it? Power BI KPI, right, model. Power BI KPI model. Power BI KPI model. A Power BI KPI is a visualization tool. Is a visualization tool. Are you with me? Okay. Used to track and measure performance. Is a visualization tool used to track and measure performance against specific goals or targets. Against specific goals or targets. Just to explain further, it provides a clear, concise way to display progress towards a particular objective. It provides a clear and concise way to display progress toward a particular objective. So let us quickly look at some of the key features regarding to this visual. One, target value. So anytime you are dealing with this visual, you need to understand that you need to supply these key features. Target value. Just to explain, what should be your target value? The target value represents the desired performance level. The target value represents the desired performance level. That is what you desire to achieve. That is the target. Because the KPI measure what? Progress made per what? Time. Now, let's quickly look at the next feature of Power BI KPI, actual value. That's the next feature. Actual value. Actual value. Actual value. The actual value represents the current performance level. Represents the current performance level. The actual value represents the current performance level. Now, what we are saying is that if you look at where did we perform that decomposition tree? I think here, right? The actual value, remember that if I clear this filter now, the actual value is what? The actual value of total profit generated is 45 million, right? Now, the company can say, okay, this is where we are. But maybe this value was realized in December, or maybe after operation within a given period of time, and they came up with this. But before the operation started, they have already projected that this is where we should be by what? August or by December. So once they get to that December, they will now be comparing this value, which is their what? The actual what? Value now to what they projected before they even started. So that is how they will measure what? Their progress. Okay? That is the only way they can measure their progress. If, for example, they've set out to realize 50 million, and at the end of that set period, they have achieved what? 45 million. If I ask you, did they meet the target? They set up a target of 50 million. And after that set period of time, they realized 45 million. And I am asking, did they really meet the target? The answer is no. So there will be an indicator that will tell us the difference between where they are and where they projected what to be. So that is the purpose of the KPI. So it is a visual that helps us to measure what? Performance. Let's look at the last one before we look at the implementation. Status. We are still on the key feature. We have just explained to target value, actual value. Status. What does that mean? The status indicates whether the actual value is on track. The status indicates whether the actual value is on track to meet the target. It's on track to meet the target value. Is on track to meet the target value, comma, using colors of indicators such as green in brackets, which means good. So whenever you see green, it means good. Using color indicator such as green in the bracket, which means good, or yellow, which means warning. That is, you are being issued what? Warning. Then, or red, which means bad. Which means what? Bad. Okay, so let's quickly discuss some of the benefits so that you know why you should not do any form of analysis or business analysis without using this KPI. It's very important you adopt it, particularly in a situation whereby you are measuring your progress based on the set target. Benefit, quickly, performance tracking. That is one of the key benefits of using KPI, Power BI KPI. Benefits, performance tracking. Performance what? Tracking. And what does that mean? KPIs enable user to track performance against specific goals or targets. KPI enables users to track performance against specific goals or targets. Let us quickly look at another benefit, number 2. Data-driven decision-making. Data-driven decision-making. Just to explain, how does the KPI influences data-driven decision-making? How does the KPI help in making data-driven decision? Right. KPI provide insights. KPI provide insights. KPI provide insights. I said it provide what? Insights. Are you following? That support data-driven decision-making. It provides insights that support data-driven decision-making. That support data-driven decision-making. Okay. Now, let's look at the third one, which is clear communication. That is another benefit of using KPI, clear communication. Just to expatiate as well, KPI communicates performance clearly. KPI communicates performance clearly and concisely, making it easy to understand progress towards goals. Making it easy to understand progress towards goals. So let's quickly look at some use cases. I'm trying to especially because it's very important. You cannot perform business analysis without using what? KPI. It's very key. Let's look at some use cases. Number one, use cases of KPI as an application when you should use it. What kind of scenario we should use it? Sales performance tracking, customer satisfaction tracking. The use case, number one, I say was sales performance tracking. That is to track sales revenue against targets. So with that, we'll know whether we are meeting the target. Customer satisfaction. Measure customer satisfaction rating against target. Okay, so these are some benefits of using what? The KPI. Now, let's quickly look at the implementation step on how to implement the KPI. Step on how to implement the KPI. Steps on how to implement the KPI. So let's say I would like to have it here. Okay, so your number one step, click on the visual. This is the visual. Click on the visual. So once you click, it will ask you three things. Look up here to ask you three things. Value, add data field here. Trend, as is, add data field here. Then what? Target. Okay. Now, before we even go through this, we need to create our targets. That is the criteria for using Power BI what? KPI. You must have actual value. You must have a target. Yeah. And then if the other option is what? You must have trend as is. So now let's create our target with measure. Remember, because the target should not be a calculated value. It should be a projected what? Value. The value will just say that we want to make what? 10 billion. It is not done with any calculation. So for that reason, we will just create measure. Remember, you know the concept of using what? Measure, right? Good. So you just create measure just to state your target. So I think your next step is create your target with measure. Write it that way. I have already activated the model. So the next step is to create my target with measure. Create target with measure. Remember I said it should not be a calculated value. Instead, it should just be a projected what? Value. So don't come to measure and say you want to multiply one thing with another thing to get your target. So now this is my measure. So I will just name it. I will name my measure as what? Target. I hope you are following. I will name it as what? Target. I'll name it as target. That is target. Then the target value I said is a projected value. Now, what do we have as the total profit generated? We have 45 million, right? So let's say our target is 50 what? 50 million, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I hope I'm correct with my 15 million, right? So now I will just commit my target with the name target. So that name will be here. So that is what I will add to my target what? Field. Are you following? Please pay more attention to the practical I'm doing. I have created a target called what? Target, right? So I'm going to add the target to what? To the target what? Value. Okay, good. Now I am going to add what generated is total of what? Total profit, right? So I will add total profit to what? To place where I have what? Value. Okay, now it's asking for what? Trend what? Value. Now there must be a variable you are using to measure the performance. So I am measuring the performance based on what? Country. Are you following? So I will add it here. So once I add it, it will give you the what? The KPI. Now remember the note I gave you. When it is red, it is what? it's bad. Check your notes. Yeah. If it is red, it's bad. If it is yellow, it's warning, right? If it is green, it's what? Good. Now, what has happened is that it has specified our target and have given us the differences. We are yet to meet the target with this value. So which means that we have not met the target. If you subtract 45 plus this, the value we got here now, from that 50 million, this is the difference. So which means you have not, is the program that calculated it by itself. Now, if you go to the visual now, look at it. If you come to the visual, you will see all those values. Don't forget that every visual we are working with has formatting what? Feature. So if I come here and I say call out value, you can now what? Modify what? The value. You are now formatting the value. Okay? Then if I go to trend axis, my trend axis, you can see it now. Why is showing red, right? High is what? Good. Then natural color, this. Now, let's do something now. Let's know whether it's communicating. Let's put 44 million. Whether it will change to what? Green. Which means that what? They surpass what?
That means they surpass what? The target, right? The target, yes, is the target will change. We will reduce the target from 50 million to what? 44 million. So that it will sit as if they really surpass what? The target. So how do I edit my target? Remember, I click on it here, right? It will bring it up again. Let's hold up. Hold on, it's coming up. Let me make sure that I've selected it. It's coming up. It's coming up. Let me see. So you can see that it's giving you negative value, which means that what? You have just little margin to meet up the target. Now, I'm trying to edit the target. So hold on for it. I did not say you should add it. Let me remove this. Hope this is not covering it. It's not dynamic. All right. No, it's the value that we change it now. If they keep populating the data, you understand? It will keep, if they add more entries now, it will update all your models. Well, what I'm saying, my target, I changed it to 40. Yeah, it changed to 40. So what happened when you change to 40? It needs updates. So with that, I believe, do we have any question? So now, I want to assume that I've come to the end of Power BI. So let's recap what we have learned so far from the beginning. How do we summarize what we have learned so far with this program? You know, we started from how to model reports with Power BI inbuilt functions, right? And then down to how to use DAS, and then using measures, quick measure, using graph, using Q&A, and the rest of them. So now you have to come up with a comprehensive project, not less than. So that was the assignment I gave to all the other time, and we are supposed to present today now. Yes. Is it all ready? Okay, because I asked him, he said his own is not ready, that he's busy writing exam. So what will happen is that I'll wait for all of us to make sure that it's a must that next week Saturday, you should be able to make your assignment ready.
Because I will start my hand. I'll start my hand.
So please, so that is going to be a kind of in-house project defense for Power BI. So we'll just schedule 1 hour for that. So the remaining time that we have, we use it to start an introduction to SQL. So it's either I start with the intro to SQL and then close with what? The presentation. Or I think I'm going to start with the training first, and then we'll close with what? With the presentation. So let's try and come up with something tangible. Make sure that your color combinations should be prioritized, please. And the structuring of your reports and how you are able to use all these visuals strategically to give us an interactive and dynamic dashboard. All right.